you know, like he's tenacity around the patch. It looked like. But in terms of clearances, Brad Inglis would be
well. Speaking of the clearance, it was Walters who quickly got it onto Delaney. Back to Walters. He's taken front on and a good tackle taken down by Saul Grenfell. Play on was the call by the umpire. And at first, boundary throw, just attacking side of centre wing. Your selection this afternoon, Target.
Oh look, I'm leaning to East Point mainly because they're here at home and they play the ground very well there.
It was Kodorenko got it down. Looks like McGrath at ground level forced the ball forward. Now a pack forms pretty much on the attacking point of the square on the Northern Bowls Club side of the ground. Good conditions, good weather. It's a little bit chilly according to a ground level. It was Grenfell had his kick smothered. Ground level it was forced forward by Walters again. And once again, it's just a little scrappy to open proceedings in the first 60 seconds of this round 5 contest between East Point and Darley. Another side having gone inside attacking 50 yet from the ruck contest. It was guided down nicely by Kodorenko. Now free kick's been picked out. It's going to go the way of McAllister against the big East Point ruckman. He's going to switch play. The left half-back flank where McGill dropped the mark, but he recovered, got the ball on the boot into the path of Hitchings. Needs the ball to sit. Eventually it did. Got on the left boot, kicks to a contest and caught behind, but taking a well-judged mark. Over Boyle that time was Dane Grenfell, plays on quickly. Loads up on the right boot, goes up inside attacking 50. Covered the pack, Hanson got there first. Got himself out of traffic nicely from the left forward pocket. Brings the ball across his body and kicks a beauty. Oh, what a way to start for the Darley Football Club. Mark Hanson, who kicked 4 goals last week, although I reckon he kicked 5. Has kicked an absolute beauty from the left forward pocket. In fact, probably between the half forward flank and the left forward pocket, and has brought it across his body superbly. And Darley opened the scoring through Mark Hanson. 1 goal straight. East Point yet to score, Barry.
Don't think DJ would be very happy with that, Michael. All the backmen went up, nobody down, and the only player that stayed down was the one that finished up kicking the goal.
Yeah, but he finished off well all the same. It was a good finish.
Super finish it was. Ball back in the middle again. Kodorenko down to Mins, just had his kick smothered. Ball in dispute in the middle, just opened the door this time to Delaney, just threw the ball on the boot, goes up inside 50. Jordan in front was hacked away that time by Deckard. Whittaker had his kick smothered onto Delaney with quick hands, and he'll just swing it out wide looking for Watkins. Just a little toe poke forward. Hitchings
well
is
played,
there.
well
Toe pokes at about 5 metres or so further forward for the Darley defence, and he finds the boundary line just inside attacking 50. East Point kicking to the Peel Street end. Ball slung back into play. Whittaker worked his way forward at ground level. Delaney out to Watkins, right up against the boundary line. Just rubbered the ball inside 50. Well done by McAllister. Fed it through to Hitchings. And now an opportunity for Jake Edwards. Goes looking for Gallup. Got hands to it, but coming across was Tom Cashin with a good defensive spoil. Forced the ball over the boundary line, just attacking side of the centre wing.
Yeah, it was a good spoil, Michael. You quite often see it. 3 kicks played that, and I'm glad the umpire that.
Swinging ball in from the boundary. Kodorenko down to Delaney. He was wrapped up quickly, trying to release the ball and given prior opportunity, according to the umpire, Darren Leonard. Takes a resulting free kick, now called a play on. You kick down the line. Was looking for Grenfell, worked his way. Well, it was Boyle who worked his way forward, but it was Harley Inglis brought the ball inside attacking 50. Ankrum just overran it there. Gallup was beaten to it. But then Ankrum backed up nicely, squares it up where he finds Catspaw, who just kicks straight into the man on the mark in Bart Phillips. Broke the tackle and then kicks long up to centre half forward. Now it's a down the field free kick after I think Phillips was manhandled, thrown to the ground, and it'll be Stephen Pye. Plays on with a floating ball inside attacking 50, but it was a little fortuitous because Jack Romerall standing at half forward. He was unaccompanied at the time, and he juggled the mark, and he can turn around on a 45-degree angle, kicking from about 40 metres out. An opportunity to level scores up with East Point's first goal, Barry.
As you said, Michael, luck is a fortune, isn't it?
Yeah, they usually kick the goals from that pocket here at Eastern Oval.
So Romerall walks inside 50 now, gathers momentum, Right foot drop punt again, a floating ball. He's pushed it to the right. And he's missed by, it was a very bad miss. Missed by a considerable margin there. But East Point on the board. Just the behind. Daly a goal. Turn Tiger up apparently.
Yeah, I can't hear him down.
Can we not turn him off? So McGill plays on from fullback, kicks long. McAllister caught in the middle of the pack, took the mark. Play on was the call. Opportunity for East Point through Walters. Couldn't get his kick away. Now pack forms a true centre half forward, and the umpire's going to elect to ball it up.
I was just about to play that, Mark.
Yeah, I thought he
I
juggled.
thought he was the only player who touched the ball, actually.
McAllister just pushing into defensive 50. It'll be Kotorenko up against Leonard. Kotorenko decisively at ground level. Watkins needs to release the ball. Eventually did. Landed with Walters. Missed his target initially, but it was Nick Hine. Had his kick partly smothered. Pye. Handball over his head. Opened the door this time for Drew Edwards. Just threw the ball on the boot, but only as far as Kotorenko. Angles the ball inside attacking 50. Well done by McAllister. Got it on to McGill. Lost his footing. Still had the presence of mind to get it on in the direction of Page. Tongue got there first, but Page just backed it up nicely. Numbers win out this time through Jordan. He'll snap the ball on his left boot from about 45 out in the right half forward flank. But, just a little bit too much curl on it that time. He's put it out of bounds on the full.
It was a fairly rush kick, Michael, but it was still very un-Jordan-like, wasn't it?
Very un-Jordan-like.
Look more composed normally, DJ. And McGill, rather. Chip short to Deckett, back to McGill by hand, and he finds Page. At left half back, just in front of the scoreboard. Brilliant sunshine. Just cuts the ball low, and he finds Harley Inglis. Wonder if Haley's playing today too. So, Harley Inglis will kick down the line, kicks to centre wing. Dane Grenfell working his way forward, but Toby Boyle good with the defensive spoil, forced it over the boundary line. And there'll be another boundary throw-in.
Could be a very interesting contest, couldn't it? With Dane Grenfell and...
It was Jake Edwards, third man up, guided it down. Path of Watkins, I think that is there, and he's taken in a tackle now. Ball eventually emerges. In fact, it was an illegal disposal that time by Jack Watkins, and it opens the door for Travis Mintz to take the resulting free kick between wing and half forward. Plays on quickly. On the right boot, goes up inside attacking 50, kick to the corridor. Opportunity over the top, little handball onto, just trying to see who that is.
Oh, anyway.
It is a goal to Daly. We'll wait for him to turn around.
It's Gallup.
No, it's not Darcy Gallup.
With the red
Wondering
boots
if
on.
it's Jake Ankrum.
Red boots on. It's Gallup, I think.
No, I've just got the eyes on. In fact, it's Shane Page.
Ooh.
Shane Page, who kicked 4 goals last week, but good opportunist effort in the corridor, and just ran it goalwards, and Daly have got 2.
And they played good team football to get it too, Michael.
Well, good tackle by Travis Mins, set that up, just short of half forward, and Daly 2 goals straight. East Point just the one behind, back in the middle again. Delaney has worked out of it nicely. McAllister onto the goal kicker and Page, handball over the top to Gallup. His handball went into the corridor, found Inglis. Just a quick handball on the Hitchings. Leonard went to ground, opportunity for Hansen, and his handball partly smothered on the Saul Grenfell, back to Leonard. Some good strength, got it back to McGrath, to Gallup, onto Saul Grenfell, and he just drills a pass onto the chest of his brother and Dane.
Very important kick for not only for Daly but for Dane Grenfell in particular, because he's had a pretty quiet start, but if he can slot this home, that will give his confidence a hell of a boost, and when he's running hot, Daly are going to be hot as well.
I thought you would have already marked it down, Tiger.
So just slightly off centre. Kicking from about 43 out. Right foot drop punt. Splits the middle. Daly have got 3. They look on this afternoon. This is a big challenge for them. Coming up the Western Highway to play at Eastern Oval ground, which they don't have a great record, Barriag, but they did record victory here in the corresponding game last year, and they lead by 17 points.
Well, they're playing extremely well, aren't they? And they're playing team football, Michael.
Yeah, but the grounds are ball level quite a lot too, Barry, and that really suits Daly, but they're not a big high flying side.
And they've got the speedy crummers too, Mike. Tiger, as you said.
About to tick into 10 minutes. Back in the middle again. It was Rigby, favoured him. Ball still in dispute. It's just been forced forward at ground level. Drew Edwards did well into the path of Jackal. Had his kick partly smothered that time. Should open the door this time for Watkins. Couldn't take clean possession.
Oh!
Stone did well. May have been taken high. Back to McGrath. Tried to break his way through the tackle. Just released the ball illegally, according to the umpire. And it'll be Romerell to take the resulting free kick. We go to centre wing where Rigby presents. And uncontested takes the mark on true centre wing. Darcy Gallop on the mark. Rigby will keep the ball low. Goes in the direction of Walters, who takes a terrific mark. He was out in front, but under a little bit of pressure and took great mark in the hands. He just chipped short, and presenting is Whittaker. And Brad Whittaker at left arm forward.
Some pretty loose marking there, really.
Yeah, bad.
So Whittaker, well, with the man on the mark at 45, he'll be kicking from about 47, 48 out. Walker kicking style. He started that one left. It pretty much just holds it line. Didn't fade back at all, unfortunately.
I thought he
And
turned
another
out
minus
pretty well
goal.
there for a while.
Looked okay off the boot.
Yeah.
But as I said, it just held its line. 3 goals straight, plays 2 behinds. The visitors in front. McGill needs to be pinpoint with his pass, looking for Inglis. Although there in support was Hitchings. Just threw the ball on the left boot out into open space. Ellis should get there first, although the ball just sat up anchoring. It's beaten to it. An opportunity for... just trying to see whether that was Stephen Pye, but the ball had found its way over the boundary line. On the railway, out of sight of the ground, landed in front, into the path of Gallop, didn't get a great bounce. Delaney was there, well done by Tongue, but he was taken in the tackle, released the ball in front of him, but the boundary line was there as well, and Julie won that particular contest. So from the boundary, throw-in again. Rigby just palmed it down. Leonard was in there, he was dispossessed. Ball at ground level once again. Errant handball by the Kangaroos found Inglis, but then he was dispossessed. Ball jolted free. Leonard in there, just wrapped up in a tackle, no prior opportunity. And there'll be another boundary, another baller. We've had plenty of boundary throw-ins already. It's been a stop-start contest, gentlemen.
It has pretty much.
Rigby did well, but now did he give the free kick away? I thought he just used the knee to get some leverage, but the umpires picked something out
We
there.
can't hold him, which I couldn't
I didn't
quite
see it. Leonard hands off to the run of Drew Edwards, kicks down the line to half forward. Dane Grenfell just worked his way to the side there, ball bounced off his chest. Toe pokes it forward, gains about 20 metres. Jake Edwards gets there first, gets himself out of traffic nicely. Now he'll look to put it to the hot spot. McGrath in position, just carried him a little bit too far. Webb got there. Just trying to see if that's Webb or is that Cooper. Trying to take the tackler on, and must be, and he's holding the ball. And Darley play on quickly, bring the ball inside 50. In fact, it wasn't. It was just trying to see who. It was Jaden Hine who tried to run that ball out. Same sort of coloured hair as Sam Cooper. In the end, Darley messed that up. And about 20 around from goal, it'd be another boundary throw-in. Was sharked by Boyle. Threw the ball on the boot. Right across from the side was Gundry. Saul Grenfell, just steady. From outside 50, brings the ball up inside 50 on to Jake Edwards, took the mark, and then played on quickly and brought the ball across his body. And is it going to be a free kick? It is.
Yep.
It's a free kick
and
against.
50 metres too, Michael.
And because he
on.
kicked the goal, yes. So, Darley's 4th goal doesn't occur. It's a free kick. It'll go the way. Bartlett, by the looks of it, once they retrieve the ball.
The only question I'd have to ask is how quick was the umpire with the whistle? Because no sooner had Edwards got the ball when he put it on his boot, and I wouldn't have thought that was a 50-metre penalty.
So it's done to take the resulting free kick and 50-metre penalty. Seemed a relatively short 50-metre penalty. Cuts the ball nicely through the breeze. Goes out in the direction of Rigby. He's gone just a touch too wide. It bounces end over end in front of Liam Rigby and over the boundary line, Barrag.
Yes, well, it's going to be up to the pointers now to make Darley pay for that mistake.
Delaney, bottom of the pack, got it on to Cooper. Forced the ball forward. Attacking the ball well was Phillips. Handball was errant, looking for Hitchings that time. Kick up to the top of the square. Deckett needs to release the ball. Daniel Jordan,
Touch.
man on the spot. Well, he socketed off
touch.
the ground, but it was touched off the boot. And a minor score just at the top of the goal square. Thought he'd got the goal that time, but
Yeah. Well, if it was touched after he took it off the ground, mate, he must have been had his hand on the ball when he kicked it,
can only assume that that is the case.
which would
McGill
have been
plays.
kicking in danger.
See that happen very often at all. Page under pressure, got it out to Mings, across half back. Now a little left foot pass is good. Finds Jackal, runs to centre wing, kicks along down the line, looking for Jake Edwards. Hands to it, created the contest, brought the ball to ground level. Ankrum out of traffic, just spun himself to the top of the square and going back. He read it much better. Tate's boy. Tate Stone takes a terrific mark diving back. And pretty much directly in front, an opportunity to put Darley's fourth goal on the board, get the margin out to 21 points. Takes no time over the kick, just nurses it home. So Darley on fire in this opening 15 minutes. They've got their fourth goal on the board, and they're out by 21 points. 4 goals straight, 24 East Point, 3 behinds on the BFL. Game of the round scoreboard target.
Yeah, they certainly look threatening every time they go forward, don't they? They all, each time they get that forward 50, they look as though they're quite capable of putting a score on the board.
Would have been an injustice had he have missed after that Magnuson mark, Michael.
Well, he was never going to miss from there, and in fact his first goal of the season, not just of the afternoon, for Cat's boy. So back in the middle again. McAllister got it down. It was sharked by Delaney. Just quickly got it onto Hine. Threw it up to centre half forward. Good strong mark taken by Whittaker. Bat 70 out. He'll go in the direction of Tongue. May have been pushed in the back. Jordan there was dispossessed. Well done by Mins. Just a little quick handball over the top into the path of McGill. The ball didn't quite sit for him as much as he would have liked, although he was surrounded by the collective of Kangaroos. Bill Lucas.
Oh.
A mob.
A mob.
A mob, there
Yeah,
you go.
mob with kangaroo.
I'm not really good with collectives.
No.
So it was McAllister. Down, but squeezing the kick. The Kangaroos bring it inside 50. Losing his footing that time was Jordan. It opened the door for Deckett. Got it on quickly to Jackal. Couldn't take it down low. And then he's wrapped up in the tackle.
Free kick.
And it is going to be a free kick, is it, for over the shoulder? The Nathan Jackal at left half back. Square it up. Where he finds Mins presenting nicely at true centre half back. He's got the runner Hitchings, accepts the handball and he'll swing it out wide looking for Gallup. But Brady just using a little bit of experience and extra body weight that time. Worked his way in front, got the kick, but it was an awkward and ordinary kick. Didn't really lift the eyes looking for Kotorenko. 2-on-1. Favoured Darley and Jake Edwards took a good mark. Square it into the middle where he's got Jackal. Right on defensive 50. Right in the corridor. It's the ball low, the direction of Leonard. It's beaten to at that time by Banwell. Now the Kangaroos could be away here if they get a good bounce. They didn't. Hine, that's Nick Hine, or Jaden Hine was it rather, gets it back to Delaney, spun himself out of traffic and nice open forward line and out in front of Daniel Jordan. And DJ on the chest.
It would be a
on the
big
leg
chance
took
from
the
here, Tiger.
Right on the 50, but he's a big chance from there.
So 18 and a half minutes in, Daniel Jordan had one shot at goal a little bit earlier that he put out of bounds on the full under pressure. He kicks from 49. Good distance to the kick
Oh, beautiful.
and makes absolutely no mistake. And did they need that, the Kangaroos? Their first goal of the afternoon goes to their coach and their inspiration. 139. Darley, 4 goals straight, 24. The margin 15 points on the BFL game of the round scoreboard barrier.
You can also have a troop of kangaroos, Mike.
Troops, see, I knew I turned to you for some reason, Bill Lucas.
The voice of experience.
Oh yes, the collective reason is. So 19 minutes in. It's taken that long for East Point to get their first goal of the afternoon. We're back in the middle again. Kotorenko's in there and guided it down. Follows it up, but can't take clean possession. Ball's still in dispute, although Kotorenko did very well. Just toe poked forward by Darley. But Hine just threw the ball on the boot. Goes out to centre wing. Hitchings should get there first and does. Collected nicely, got it onto Mins. Mins
Nice
just
play.
feeds a handball through nicely to Hitchings and goes looking for Dane Grenfell on the lead out in front of Boyle. Takes the mark on the chest. Kick it into the pocket. He's looking for Hanson. Couldn't collect it on the half volley. Phillips looking for Brady. Just trying to see who that is. It's Ben Matthews. Tried to keep the ball in the field of play right in front of the grandstand. Right on attacking 50 for Darley. Just ticked into time on as the boundary umpire brings it in again. Walters got it down, spun in the tackle. Delaney had his kick smothered, then followed it up with a good left foot pass. And on the stretch, taking it down low, Whittaker will cut the ball low to open space at centre half forward. Well done by Jaden Hine, but Drew Edwards sensing the danger, got across, chopped it off. Page onto Hitchings, just a little slow getting his kick away, and now it's chopped off by Hine with a couple of bounces. He'll attack the attacking 50. Got a very ordinary bounce, but then got it back. Should feed the handball over the top to Banwell. Went looking for Hine that time. Did he cop a push in the back? Yes, he did.
Oh, I thought that was very lucky. I thought that was a side-on tackle. I don't believe the tackle was from the rear.
And Jaden
It's
Hine.
pretty hard to push a man in the back when you're not tackling him from the back.
Well, Jaden Hine, whichever way you look at it, is the recipient of the free kick. Directly in front, an opportunity. Go back-to-back goals. Hine, now has he just hooked that to the left? No, I think it's all right. He's just squeezed it in. And East Point, well, they've steadied in the last 5 minutes or so. Back-to-back goals. The margin back to 9 points, 2-3-15. Darley, 4 goals straight, 24 on the BFL game of the round scoreboard target.
Yeah, a little fortunate with that one, but you've got to ride your luck in these games.
So Jaden Hine, who kicked 4 goals, I think, or was it 5 goals last week, but has 10 for the season, kicked 5 against Sebastopol at this ground last week. It's his first of the afternoon, and East Point, well, not sure that they were out of the contest, but Darley certainly looked the more likely to start it off, and again they're going to get the clearance, the Kangaroos, through Walters. It's up to half forward. Hine did very well against Jaden Hine. Through traffic, tried to get the handball away, eventually did. Webb just tapped it forward to his advantage. Couldn't take clean possession. McGrath's in there. He's got rid of the long sleeves. Watkins, dispossessed. Did he have the football? No, he didn't, according to the umpire. Good decision there.
Yeah.
He just tapped the ball forward and didn't have possession of the football, and when he was taken.
I think a bump was a more appropriate.
The bump's dead.
Well, the bump is dead, but I mean, a bit of use of the body was probably more warranted than the tackle.
So Watkins, the Fred Flintstone run up and pushes it to the left-hand side. In fact, does he put it out of bounds on the full? No, he has to squeeze it in for a minor score. But the run-up, very reminiscent of Josh Kennedy or Fred Flintstone playing bowls.
He hooked that one badly, didn't he?
Yeah, it's never looked good off the boot, but I'm not sure he was overly confident with the run-up either. McGill from full-back again. Comes to the Northern or Bowls club side. Kicks to a pack. Harley Inglis front and centre. Couldn't take clean possession. Delaney was in there. Jake Edwards fed the handball out to Pay. In fact, it was Alice nicely. And Harley Inglis has taken one high. He'll hand off to stationary target in Leonard. Had his kick smothered by Walters. Will get there first, but right up against the boundary line. His momentum took him over. And a wasted opportunity to really try and clear out a defensive 50 by Darley. They'd got the free kick, but just couldn't get the ball clear. The boundary throw in, Leonard. Down to Delaney, left it behind. Now he'd take possession. Chain of handballs back to Tunn. Just puts a high up and under ball to the top of the square. Reading and sensing the danger that time, McGill came across with the defensive spoil. Deckett doing well against Daniel Jordan at the moment, at least body on body, and it opened the door for McGill to come across with the defensive spoil target.
Yeah, done well and knocked it out of bounds.
Ball seemed to just hold up in the breeze a little bit too, towards the Peel Street end.
Yeah, that's the first one we've seen actually hold up at the moment so far.
So in the left forward pocket, 10 around from the East Point goal. Drew Edwards slaps it towards the boundary line. Delaney did well, got it onto Banwell, but unfortunately for the Kangaroos that time, the boundary umpire saw that ball over the boundary line. And 20 around from the Kangaroos goal. The Peel Street end, he'll sling back into play, which he duly does now. Jordan slapped it back into the corridor, but now free kick's been picked out. Daniel Jordan just pleading his innocence there, not quite
Well,
sure
I'm
what
not-
the free
well,
kick was
I'm not
for.
quite sure what it was for either, Michael.
And Deckett, the top of the goal square, swings the handball wide. He's got Saul Grenfell further afield, goes by foot to Ellis, hands back inboard to Saul Grenfell, and then just nursed a little pass over the top. It was dropped by Watkins, should have been taken.
Oh.
Delaney, did he throw that out in front of him?
It looked like
Play-ons are called,
yeah.
good handball. Went on to Bartlett, but his handball looking for a teammate that time was errant. Right up against the boundary line, Stone did very well. Back to Page, now onto Saul Grenfell, just throws the ball on the boot, kicks out into open space, but Walters should get there first for the Kangaroos. But he just took an age to try and get rid of it.
he
McAllister
took him
closed in
trouble,
on him.
yeah.
Good tackle applied, thrown out by Brady. Onto Bartlett, and Bartlett will just bring the ball to the attacking 50, but there was nobody home. And in the end, it's chopped off by Darley defender there, just trying to see if that's Ben Matthews. I think it is. Off the side of the boot, it should land just inside the field of play, but again, another wasted opportunity.
I'm a little bit surprised it wasn't a 50-metre penalty because Dan Jordan ran 2 metres over the mark.
In fact, it was Ross Gundry, one of the 2 inclusions, and Ben Matthews relatively similar, I think. So it was Rigby, forced it forward, spilling onto it nicely. It was Bartlett, just threw the ball across his body out in front of Whittaker. Took a terrific mark in front of Ellis. He'll play on quickly, kicks into the corridor looking for Jordan, duck back, well done by Deckett. Ball at ground level again, dangerous situation here for the Darley defence. Quick handball out to Daniel Jordan off a step, brings the ball across his body from 40 out, and he's kicked a beauty. Well, what Mark Hansen did to kick the opening goal of the match, Daniel Jordan's replicated that, and they're back within 2 points. Daniel Jordan with his second enterprising opening term, 3-4-22 to Darley, 4 goals straight.
I'm not sure who the Darley defender was there. I'm a little bit surprised he went for a handball when he had good open space in front of him and could have looked for a teammate down around the wing.
His 25th goal of the season, Daniel Jordan, and a terrific finish that time. Ball in the middle once more. McAllister, the path of Matthews, but couldn't quite get there first, and it was Daniel Tongue that did. And he was wrapped up by Matthews immediately, and there'll be a secondary ball up. I'll get your thoughts on, in just a moment, what East Point have done in the last 10 minutes to get themselves really back in this contest. Ball in dispute in the middle. Just shuffled forward by Rigby and just squeezing a kick out of the pack. East Point can bring it up to centre half forward, but it was chopped off by Ellis, and he swings it wide, and Page takes the mark. A former Kyneton player called to play on, needs to kick around the man on his mark. Hansen provided a contest, well done by Cashin, just backed himself into trouble, but then got the handball out to Tongue. Tongue's handball was chopped off, opportunity for Stone, just quickly on the left boot, and some good vision. Spotted up Mark Hansen just on his own about, maybe 25 out or so.
Probably just covered the 15 as well.
Yeah, but weighted the kick superbly and lifted the eyes. It was good vision, good decision making, and Mark Hansen who kicked the opening goal of the match. And a beauty it was from the left forward pocket. Chance to put his second on the board. Slightly off centre, but he has just guided that one through. Started towards the right-hand goal post. Just had enough draw on it to get Darley's 5th goal of the afternoon. And they've broken a sequence of 3 straight East Point goals with their 5th of the afternoon, 5 straight. They lead East Point 3-4-22 the margin, 8 points on the BFL game of the round scoreboard, 28.5 minutes in target.
Yeah, couldn't have come at a better time, really, because it looked like they'd surrendered a pretty easy one to East Point, but to grab that back line on quarter time is a bonus for them, really.
What have East Point changed up though in the last 10 minutes or so? Because really Darley were playing all over them. We'll get those thoughts in just a moment as the umpire puts the ball up in the middle. McGrath received the handball and off the side of the boot. There's the ball into open space. Brady should get there forward. He forced himself forward, trying to play for the free kick that time. Also looking for the boundary umpire. The boundary line rather, as the boundary umpire worked closely. And in the end, there will be another boundary throw in. Slung back into play. Neither ruckman really got a hand to it. Mins at ground level. Well done that time by Webb, I think it is. It's forced forward. In fact, it's Bart Phillips there.
Oh, very lucky there. He did take them on there.
Another ball up. Stone didn't take clean possession. Min should get there first. Just forced a handball out. Right up against the boundary line. Tongue seemed to be out of the field of play as he tried to get that left footer away. The boundary umpire right on the scene saw exactly what we saw, Tiger.
Yep.
And put the hand up straight away, and there will be another boundary throw-in. While we're waiting for the ball to come in, the changes East Point have made in the second half of the opening term.
Oh, I think they're just getting more players around the ball, Michael.
Right from the boundary throw-in. Leonard caught behind. Rigby tried to force it forward. Mins dispossessed as he tried to get the kick away. East Point numbers do win out initially. Hitchings did very well in a tight space. Got the kick away. Harley Inglis got it on by hand to McGrath. Kick out wide looking for Jake Edwards. Ball sat for him nicely. Corralled on the right. Concedes Graham. Goes back to Drew Edwards. Goes looking for Ross Gundry. Is quarter time, just about to tick into 31 minutes, and it was 31 minutes of genuine entertainment this opening term. 8 goals kicked in total. It was Darley with 5 goals straight. They lead East Point 3-4-22. The margin at quarter time, 8 points, and Tiger. Alright, many thanks to B1 and B2. Second quarter action getting underway. And it was Jake Edwards. Had his kick apparently smothered. Opportunity for Saul Grenfell. But the quick give was good to Jackal rather. And he goes up to half forward. Cashin read it well. Defensive squall out to the path of Jackal once again. Just tapped it to the favour of McGrath under pressure. Got the handball on the Stone. Had sold it before he actually got it. And it opened the door for Jaden Hyde. Back inboard to Walters. Through traffic nicely. Back to his mate and Tongue. Off a step, left footer up inside attacking 50 and juggling the mark. Sam Cooper took a good grab. 55 out, you go looking for Jordan, climbed high, couldn't take the mark. Front and centre was Delaney, sold the dummy once and then had an open goal square there for his option. But just an errant kick. And in the last line of defence, Sam Hitchings took a good juggling mark on the chest. He'll come out to the northern side where he's got Decker. He just held his ground there. Jordan got there with the spoil. Followed it up nicely and then swung the handball back inboard to Whittaker. And Whittaker goes out wide looking for Jaden Hyde. Kept the ball in smartly in the field of play. Now he'll look to go with the banana kick and gets a wonderful goal. Oh, an extraordinary finish by Jaden Hyde. Had no right to keep that ball in the field of play. And as a consequence had no right to kick that goal. He did. And East Point back within 2 points, get the opening goal of the second term. An extraordinary finish that time.
It was, Michael, and if that effort doesn't lift his teammates, then nothing will.
Well, I mean, it was a mistake by Darley inside defensive 50 to be fair, but look, to have the presence of mind right up against the boundary line to just keep that ball in with a little tap, follow it up, and then kick the goal, it was extraordinary. And they're back within 2 points. Ball in the middle again. Webb by hand back to Kotorenko, who's dispossessed and should be, and he's holding the ball. And Harley Inglis, a good tackle applied that time. He'll just swing the ball inside 50. Hanson set himself nicely. I thought he just overcommitted himself that time. Had a good standing leap and dragged the mark down. Jake Dunn, well, had committed himself, may even have overcommitted himself as well, but a terrific mark by Mark Hanson.
He's got to kick directly at the left-hand goalpost from where he is, Michael.
Oh, chance for an immediate reply to the Devils. Kicking to the Peel Street end. Mark Hanson with 2 opening term goals. Right foot drop punt. Has he just pushed it to the left? He has, because he slammed it into the left-hand goalpost.
Like you told me.
And a minus score. Their first minus score of the afternoon. And quick kick in from fullback by Boyle. Finds a teammate who's just turned it over, unfortunately for him. And Stone takes the mark, goes into the corridor again, looking for Hanson once more. Didn't take it cleanly the first time, but juggled the mark and right on attacking 50. Looked to go short. It was an ordinary kick.
What for? What
Mins,
for?
handball out wide. Hitchings needed to sell the dummy quickly and then just put a high ball up looking for Grenfell. Climbing over the top of him was Boyle and then right up
Why would
against
you
the
want to
boundary
do
line.
that?
Harley Inglis.
45 metres out straight in front. Why wouldn't he be having a shot at goal?
Well, in the end, right up against the boundary line, Harley Inglis looking to replicate what Jaden Hine did a little bit earlier, put it out of bounds. He might have stepped out of bounds beforehand because his kick was out of bounds on the full side. Again, just a brain fade that time by Mark Hanson. He's looking for Mins. Over the top was Walters. Gallop. He swung the handball out wide. He was looking for Dane Grenfell, but it should be a hold against Grenfell, the former Melton and Melton South player. Go the way of Toby Boyle. They go laterally.
They're just making some stupid errors at the moment, the Devils.
Tongue takes the mark. Go long down the line, kicks to centre wing. Going early was Page, couldn't complete the mark. Darcy Gallop overran it. Page ended up accepting the handball and then went up looking for Tate Stone, but reading it much better. Tongue takes the mark. Off a step, loads it up to half forward where he finds Delaney making space. Took a good mark and he'll just bring the ball in politely inside, attacking 50 in front of Brady. Brady will play on quickly, goes looking for Whittaker. And out in front of Darren Leonard that time. Right up against the boundary line in front of the East Point Social Club. So it's not going to be an easy kick for him.
No, but the breeze will assist him if anything, because it'll help him hook it back in left to right.
Just a couple of metres in from
Sorry, right to left, I should say.
the boundary line. He's a natural right footer. He goes with the drop punt. Has made no mistake. I was about to say he has. Yes, he's just gone across.
Quarter time scores when you want them.
Right, may as well go with it now, Bill.
Lake Windaree 2 goals, 12. Rodan 3-4 22. Melton South 5-3 33. Ballarat 5-6 36. North City 4-2 26. Melton 2 points. Sebastopol a point. And I haven't got Sunbury. Didn't give me Sunbury nothing.
Oh, and a magnificent mark. Okay, thank you very much, Bill Lucas. But long kick out from full back. And climbing over the top, Hayden Walters took a beauty. Loads up from outside 50, kicks to the hot spot, looking for Jordan. Well done by Deckett. Front and square was Leonard. Handballed out to the run of McGill. Puts it up looking for Hitchings, but standing his ground, taking a good contested mark, was Daniel Tongue.
Sunbury's 11-5 71.
All right, massive first turn, no surprise to the Lions. Left half forward, kicking into the corridor. Kotorenko made space, but a terrific mark taken by
That's got to
Jackal.
be 50 metres. That has to be a 50-metre penalty.
Well, he was held up after he took the mark. Now, was he trying to play on? That was the issue.
Well, if the umpire
Jackal.
hasn't called play on, it has to be 50 metres.
So Jackal spotted up Mins. He switched play to the opposite half-back flank. He's called a play on. Looked to sell the dummy. Eventually got around on the right boot. Ankram's caught behind. Climbing high was Reece Ellis. Took a terrific mark over Watkins that time. And Ellis in true centre wing. Looked to go into the middle of the ground. Where he's got Page. Takes a mark on the chest and then loads up. Getting back Jake Edwards. Well, now there's a free kick being picked out. It's a shepherding free kick. It's going to go the way of East Point, is it? Jake Edwards not particularly impressed with that.
Well, I'm a bit amused by that.
By himself, Jack.
Well, he took the mark, only 15
Well, he was-
metres out.
But both the Darley boys were behind, so it's hard to shepherd from behind.
Delaney in front of Gallop takes a good mark. Just forward of half back. On the Northern or Bowls Club side of the ground. Called a play on. Just steers a kick over the top. And, well, fortuitously landed on the chest of Brady. He looked to handball back inboard. And taking one high was Nick Hine against Jackal. And he'll just loop a little pass over the top to Kotorenko. He's got the run of Brady. He gives him the handball. Goes into the corridor, but holding his ground nicely. Filled the hole superbly, Page. And is it going to be 50 metres after he was taken down? It is, against Jaden Hine.
Well, I can't see much difference between that and one very similar one less than a minute ago.
Tongue's going to eventually get onto the mark. Plays on quickly on a searching lead, looking for Jake Edwards. Got a very ordinary bounce. Dunn did well. Back into Hind. Now to Boyle, under pressure. Got it back to Dunn, taken forward and the tackle by Stone. You'll need to release that football. Where's the umpire? He's lurking at the moment. Has the ball emerged? It hasn't, but the pack has. And right on the attacking 50 paint, and left half forward attacking side for Darley, there will be a ball up. 2 points the margin, 5-1 plays, 4-5. Rigby got it down. Walters under pressure, goes in the direction of Cooper. Waited the pass nicely and out in front of McGill, takes the mark. Defensive side of centre wing. Whittaker lost his footing. Presents short in the end. Cooper goes long. Drew Edwards caught behind. He was looking to spoil, but coming across from the side, McAllister took a good mark.
Oh,
Conceded Graham, went back to Saul. Grenfell looked to square it up. Dangerous kick looking for Hitchings. Banwell did well, but then went to ground. Page came in support of Hitchings, except the handball, and then swung it wide where Ankerham takes the mark. True centre wing. On the southern side of the ground. They go up to half forward. McGill was pushed out of that contest, I thought, but good strength according to the umpire. Watkins paid the mark. He's got Walters in the middle of the ground. Takes a couple of steps and then loads it up long. McAllister getting back. Got hands to it, couldn't complete the mark. Roving well was Delaney and eventually got around on the left boot and weighted the pass superbly. Not much that Drew Edwards could do there. And Jaden Hine takes the mark on the chest directly in front, kicking from about 25 out, and an opportunity for East Point to take the lead for the first time this afternoon. Already has an outstanding goal this quarter, Jaden Hine. Right foot drop punt, drills that one home. So East Point in front for the first time. We're just about to tick into the 10-minute mark of this second term. And East Point move along to 5-5, 35, Darley 5-1, 31. The margin 4 points on the BFL game of the round scoreboard, Tiger. And Jaden Hyde, well, his third goal of the afternoon, becoming somewhat of a headache for Rod McPherson.
Yeah, look, Darley are going to have to really tighten up around the midfield, or they're going to the floodgates are going to really open and they'll get slaughtered.
So back in the middle into greying skies. Rigby did very well. Some good shepherding by Gundry. Opened the door for Saul Grenfell. By hand went back to Pate through traffic. Eventually had to release the ball. Did by hand on to Hitchings. Over the top to Matthews off a step. Drive the ball along inside 50. Jake Edwards has gone forward. Got a very ordinary bounce again and opened the door for Phillips with a bounce. Exits defensive 50 and he'll just swing the ball wide looking for Banwell. Going with the flight of the ball. Just protected the ball with his body and took a good mark on the chest. Chris Banwell, former skipper, bring the ball back inboard. Watkins takes the mark. At this point, just really starting to get on top. Goes in the middle of the ground. Watkins couldn't complete the mark. Gallup needs to release the football. Eventually did, but only just. Then went to ground and has taken one in the back. I was about to say
that was a poor tackle because he was gone then.
Against Daniel Tongue, yeah, you're right, he was. He needed to release the football.
Oh, yeah, it was a really poor tackle.
Gallup goes looking for Dane Grenfell, making space at left half forward. Now in the square, Jake Edwards, he'll go in that particular direction. Edwards in front will set himself, and too easily took the mark that time. In front of Jake Dunn. And that's, well, you'd suspect that's the game plan. Nice open forward line. Jake Edwards playing out of the square.
Bit of a tight angle though.
No, right footer. A player of his ilk should be able to convert that one comfortably. As
He's had a couple of opportunities today and hasn't worried the scorer at all.
It's about 5 metres in from the boundary. Kicking from about 25 out should make absolutely no mistake. Well, spoke a little too early. He's hooked that one badly to the left-hand side.
Mercy's been kicking very poorly today. Even his field kicking, not that he's kicking for goal, but his field kicking hasn't been the best today.
5-2 plays 5-5. Darley still trail. 3 points the margin. 12.5 minutes in. But really need to convert that, especially they need to take their opportunities because in general play, East Point have probably been playing over the top of them in this second term.
Oh, East Point are well on top in the second quarter.
Retrieving the ball from Peel Street, literally. As the ball went over the netting that's immediately behind the ground. Or behind the goals, rather. So East Point will look to set this up from full back. Down the defensive 50, it was Delaney who took the mark. Now they can handball into the middle of the ground where Delaney accepts the handball back again. He'll just kick into space. Darley numbers there, nearly messed it up. Gallup couldn't quite take clean possession.
Oh.
Put McGill under pressure. He was
Oh.
spun in the tackle, managed to get the handball out. Was Hind taken high that time though, but Gallup won the football. Back to Hitchings onto McGill, and just nursed a little pass over the top. Gundry needed to settle. Quick handball over the top to Page. Just nursed a little kick in the direction of Mings. Back to Page again. And off a step, he'll go up to half forward.
Oh, that's got to be a
Steam
free
out.
kick, surely.
And it is. It's going to be a free kick. I was just looking at Jake Edwards that time, but he was forced forward. Was Hanson. He goes in the direction of Jake Edwards. Done it, pretty much given it away. Couldn't complete the mark. Now off a step, he swings at goalwards. It's going to the goal line and it's just touched. It was a good effort by Jake Edwards. Under a bit of pressure that time and off a step. It was about 40 out, so he had plenty of distance to cover. And it was just chopped off on the line. Another minus score. Under pressure, East Point from defensive 50. Still ball in dispute. Cooper left it behind. Drew Edwards was taken in a tackle front on by a couple of Kangaroos there. You'd suggest that'd be a mob. Bill Lucas.
True.
Michael, I just can't understand.
So Ellis down into the path. We'll get to that in just a moment. Off the side of the boot, he was looking for Hanson. Got an ordinary bounce. Opened the door for Banwell. He can clear defensive 50. Looking for Walters. Cut the ball to the chest nicely in front of Gallup and takes the mark. And we'll square it up where he's got Boyle. Slap bang in the middle of Eastern Oval. It's around on the left boot. Goes in the direction of, well, I'm not sure if he was looking for Brady that time. Getting a hand to it was McGill. And then taken down in a, well, in the end, a good tackle by Brady was McAllister. He's given the free kick up. So Brady, 60 out. Keep that one low. And coming across from the side. I thought that Darren Leonard was in that time. Slightly errant pass, but it wasn't. It was good vision coming from the side. As Brad Whittaker takes the mark, and you line it up 15 and a quarter minutes into this second term, a term that in general play has been dominated by
Favoured by the breeze there.
So from 47 out, Whittaker sends it goalwards. As he just gone across the face. It faded at the last minute. And another minus score. You hear some rustling there. Does that mean the chocolate biscuits are coming out soon, Barry Egg?
They're all gone.
Oh, they're all gone. Well, that's not good news for me at half time, is it? So McGill from full back. Played to himself. Then off the step. Kick long to a contest. Dunn got high at ground level. Dunn was taken front on by Ellis that time. It's jolted their head back, but no free kick.
Oh, I don't know what's anything in that.
No, I tend not to think that either, but the head certainly did jolt back. So McAllister, with strength, got it down. Ground level. I think Tongue's on the bottom of that pack.
Well,
Ball's not going anywhere.
Travis Binns was a bit unlucky, then he was.
That was Delaney, actually.
Oh no, Travis Binns was playing without the ball.
So in the ruck contest, McAllister has guided it down the throat of Delaney, but right on the ball, Travis Minns once again in that particular contest has forced another ball up. Ball skywards once again, McAllister down to Minns. Did manage to get the kick away this time, but Boyle should get there first. He sort of rounded the ball and that opened the door for Drew Edwards rather to get in there, or is it Ross Gundry? You really get good vision on it initially. Nobody could take clean possession in the end, another ball up. Just attacking side of centre wing, broadcast side of the ground, McAllister. Down to Delaney. Delaney just threw the ball on the boot and out in front. Jordan, he was surrounded by a couple of devils that time.
He'll kick this.
No, he's looking to
He's
offload
going
it.
to dish
He'll
it off.
kick this.
He's going to dish it off.
No, he'll kick this. The breeze is ideal. The breeze
Right, so
slightly into it, but
well, he comes inside 50 now. He has started that one right. Oh, and absolutely spot on, Tiger. And that one has just faded back nicely. And Daniel Jordan joins Jaden Hind with 3 goals this afternoon. East Point just the 2 goal kickers, but they've extended the margin out to 9 points. 6-6-42 to Darley 5-3-33. That seemed to take an age to get to the point, Tiger, but in the end, a terrific goal.
Sorry, Tiger. I was just going to say
little breeze there.
the question has to be, Tiger declared it, never looked like missing from the tail and left his boot. Why was he looking to dish it off?
Yeah, but he declared it after the ball had gone for a goal.
No,
No, he didn't. No, to be fair.
And the big difference is that Dan Jordan's had the shots at goal with Mark Hanson 3 times this quarter he's had an opportunity to have a shot at goal and opted not to. I can't understand why.
And Jordan again with a good strong mark at right half forward in front of Deckett. Too far out to score. He'll put it into the corridor. Darley getting numbers back, but they all went in the air.
He's paid a
In the
free
end,
kick.
now there is a free kick. And Tate Stone, not quite sure what the free kick's been given away for, but Daniel Brady, Barry, I'll get your explanation on it in a moment. But David Brady will line it up and an opportunity to get the margin out to 15 points.
A little bit lucky, I thought, Michael. He lost his footing, but they jumped in his back while he was on the ground.
And 50 metres as well. So he's going to make an absolute certainty of this from the goal square. You can only imagine that the 50 metres has come courtesy of a little colourful language, one would presume. So Brady from the goal square makes absolutely no mistake. So they're out by 15 points at this point, and they're starting to put their dominance and in general play on the scoreboard. And 7-6-48, the Kangaroos, Darley 5-3, 33 goals so far in their second term.
Yes, they just seem to have lost all confidence in their ability going forward. I'm not quite sure why.
I can tell you when we switch microphones off at half time. Tiger?
Alright, well that's handy for the listeners at home, isn't it? David Brady, his first goal of the afternoon, his first goal of the season.
You won't let me be critical, Michael, so I've got to wait till we turn the microphones
We're
on.
not going to talk about the umpires again, surely. So Gundry just fumbled in an opportune time. Jake Edwards get the clearance after he fumbled in the first place. Out in the space. Bartlett gets there first, but he's also got Harley Inglis right on his hammer, and that may have just come off the boot. And over
I'm
the boundary
sure
line.
it came off the boot. And the boundary umpire didn't pick it up.
I'd like to see a replay of that, but that's something we're not going to get, although the cameraman is up with us at the minute. Slapped forward by Leonard. Webb at ground level. In fact, it's Gundry there in also for the Devils. Quick hands on to Saul Grenfell. He was dispossessed. Just breaking the line like that. Be a free kick to Jackal. Not seen by the umpire.
How could he not see it?
Blue going on at centre wing. Darley under extreme pressure at the moment. Hine just threw the ball out. Going to ground was Walters. He's wrapped up in a tackle, although the ball was finally dispossessed. And in the end, as there's a little choker holds going on in centre wing there.
That's what I was laughing at. I'm sorry, Michael.
Yeah. Tapped out from Leonard
Oh,
by
talk.
Matthews.
Talk.
Up inside 50, it was Page, couldn't complete the mark. Watkins, the last line of defence. And they'll just go with a couple of good, accurate handballs and clear the ball out of defensive 50. He's point and find.
Too easy.
Phillips squares it up where he's got Walters. Will swing the ball further afield. This time through the middle of the ground to Watkins. Had no left boot but puts it out into space. Right in front of Brady. Takes the mark. Plays on quickly to the run of Boyle. Boyle will go up inside 50. Missed his intended target. Drew Edwards got there first. Was taken high. Clearly taken high that time. The umpires picked it up. And in the last line of defence, under extreme pressure, the Darley defence take the free kick and switch to the opposite back pocket where Ellis takes the mark. 21 3/4 minutes in. East Point with a 15-point lead with a big second term. It's to a contest.
It was a
In the
mark.
end, Gundry bounced off the chest and a handball on to Harley Inglis, who was taken high by Jason Delaney, who's shaking his head. I think he'd given that one away and right on the defensive paint.
Oh,
Inglis
where
will kick
to?
down the line. He's looking for McAllister, coming across with great
Oh,
courage.
well,
Terrific mark
I
taken
thought
by Walters.
McAllister was taken right out of the contest.
Nurses a little pass
And
over
how
the
that
top.
could not be a free kick, I'm damned if
Webb.
I know.
Taken front on. Jake Edwards tried to get the little kick away. Not
Oh,
You are a whacker, umpire.
Well, he needs
You
to
are
kick
an
it away.
absolute whacker.
No, he needs to kick it away. That was an accurate decision.
No, that was
Yeah, well,
what
hit the
happened
Tiger it
beforehand.
was. Well,
That was what happened beforehand.
yeah, all right. Well, let's get
You
off the
cannot
umpires.
see one and not see the other.
All right, well, Jaden Hine, this is why we're going to turn you off in a minute. Seriously.
No, an absolute
Brady.
whacker.
Tried to spin himself out of the tackle that time, got the handball away, but to nobody other than a nest of devils there, or what do we call them? A legion of devils. And eventually the kick finds Jackal on the defensive point of the square.
Nice kick,
Spots
nice
up,
kick.
Matthews, who takes the mark, just kept running in a terrific pass. Found Dwayne Edwards on the lead in front of Jake Dunn. And Dwayne Edwards, turn around, line it up.
Well, they certainly need a goal here. They've been completely outplayed this quarter.
Well, he must
And,
convert.
and they have made some stupid mistakes.
Well, directly in front. Distance shouldn't be an issue. He'll be kicking from about 35 out. Dwayne Edwards kicks through that one nicely, but he's just hooked it, has he? Or has he? No. Looks as though he's just squeezed that one through.
Oh.
Well, we were talking about marathons earlier, and I think the goal umpire just went on his extended marathon that time. But he's come back to the centre, and Dwayne Edwards, importantly, for the Devils, gets one back.
He was trying to get you in, Michael, and he succeeded, didn't he?
He clearly succeeded. I thought he was going to signal a behind. But Dalek, well, importantly, their first goal of the second term, 6-3-39. They trail East Point by 9 points, 7-6-48. And Dwayne Edwards.
24 minutes into the quarter to get it. So.
Well, East Point took a while.
Took 19 minutes in the first quarter
Yeah,
for
they
them to
did.
get their first goal. Although they came home in a rush, didn't they?
Clearance to Delaney. Goes up looking for Brady that time. Couldn't complete the mark. Jackal was in there, left the ball behind. Stone at ground level. Eventually the ball emerges. Walters back to Kotorenko. Sold the dummy once. Was won nicely by Delaney. Back to Walters. Off a step. He'll kick the goal. No, he won't from about 40 out. Just slightly across the face. But some good movement of the football by East Point that time.
Excellent teamwork, Michael. From where we are, obviously the goal umpire's a lot closer than what we are. I thought that went out of bounds.
I thought it went out of bounds as well. I was a bit surprised when he signalled it behind.
Well, I'm not looking forward to getting older if the eyes of you do. Kick out from full back. Drew Edwards got hands to it. He'll mop it up again across half back, but then ran into his teammate and Travis Mins. And the momentum took him over the boundary line. Now, was Travis Mins going to the boundary? He was. Coming off the ground, just happened to run into Drew Edwards as Saul Grenfell makes his way back out onto the ground. McGrath went with the fist. Saul Grenfell just tapped it forward. Bartlett did well. Opened the door this time for
Done
long
very
ball
well.
off the step.
Basketball pass.
Goes up to half forward, climbing over the top, taking a terrific mark on the chest, is Whittaker. Whittaker just looks to bring the ball inside 50, and Walters has been outstanding this afternoon. Good strong hands is that high. We'll wait for him to turn around. In fact, it's Sam Cooper. He was my third option.
He was my first, but you had the glasses
Instead of
on.
complaining about the bloody umpires, you can start talking about the players that are out there and help me out. So Sam Cooper, 5 goals last week, 45-degree angle, be kicking from 40 metres out.
Never looked
Well,
like missing.
no, he started that one towards the left, but it faded back with the breeze nicely. He split the middle, and East Point once again out beyond 10 points. In fact, they're out by 16 points at the minute with their 5th goal of this second term. 8-7-55, Dally 6-3, 39 on the BFL Game of the Round scoreboard target.
Yeah, they just got all the answers at the moment.
And I've got an answer for Michael. If you're worried about getting old, mate, keep making disparaging remarks. We can make sure that you don't get old.
There we go. My weekly threat. I love that one. Back in the middle again. Leonard did well, tapped it down, and then retrieved it. Kicked up to half forward. Tapped the football. Phillips managed to get the kick away. Rigby's there. Couldn't take clean possession. Walters with quick hands. Looking for high.
Oh, no!
When he didn't have the football. Jake Edwards not happy with that. An advantage play on. Kick to half forward. Darley defenders getting back. Page at ground level. He was dispossessed. Boyle's at the bottom of that pack. Will he need to release the football? Well, he will, but after the umpire's blown the whistle. And we'll elect to ball it up on the attacking point of the square. Attacking side for East Point. Rigby. A relatively short quarter, 27 and a half minutes, but I think that would be music to the ears of the Darley Football Club. They have been comprehensively outplayed in their second term. They led by 8 points at quarter time, but they've conceded. East Point 5 goals 3 to just 1 goal 3 to go